Hi, I'm Nick Shepard.
And I'm Jensen Titus.
And we are Very Gay Paint. Today we are going to be rating how gay works of art are.
What makes it gay and how it is so gay.
Gayness is something that you can objectively measure, which is why we've decided to do something that scientists have been neglecting to do for years.
To bring a methodic gay barometer to the visual art world.
Methodic gay barometer.
Sort of a great drag name.
That was beautiful, what you
Thanks,
said.
babe.
And it made me want to be close to you.
Aww.
Today we are going to be rating how gay some of the works of art are by
Banksy. Can we first start off and talk about gay impressions of Banksy?
Gay impressions of Banksy.
First, you hear Banksy, what are we thinking? Anonymity.
Very gay.
Maybe one of the gayest things.
The anonymous status of Banksy is one of the gayest things about him, other than
And
the fact that
within
he
the art
is,
world in general.
Sure, expressing himself visually without at its core is queer.
Also, to be in an alleyway doing something discreet, extremely gay.
Yes. Banksy comes from the root Banks, which is historically his favorite musical artist, a very gay musician to like. And he does do a lot of work that you can see her music's influence through. And that's one of the reasons why we chose Banksy.
Another reason is he sort of hoards his art sort of to himself, sort of as you would at like a bank. So I think that's where most of his...
You know that his art is publicly available almost always.
But in a sense, he kind of keeps most of it away, which is something most people don't know, is that most of his work is sort of in a vault somewhere, painted on the walls.
So what we are seeing in reality is sort of the tip of the iceberg of Banksy's works.
Yeah.
We're going to be rating how gay Banksy's works are that he chose to share with us. Granted, this is, 5% of his total works?
Maybe that, yeah.
Because the rest are in a vault.
Underground.
Jensen, what is the first piece of Banksy's art that you remember seeing in the cultural consciousness and we started thinking about it?
Mm-hmm. I think one of the first ones I saw, there's like a child with a balloon.
That's what I was going to say.
And then there's also like a rat with sunglasses on, right?
I don't know. When I think of Banksy, I think of a big sack with a $sign on it.
Yes.
Which is...
I remember being like, this is political.
Yeah. Whenever you see a sack with a $sign, it is political. You cannot separate the political from the personal unless you are dealing with a sack of money, and then it's just politics, baby. It's monopoly. It is...
monocles.
Yes.
Which are sort of synonymous. And I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think you can separate politics from art?
I think that I can personally separate politics from art because for me... Politics, right? A hard P, sort of a popping P sound. It feels like it lives even just etymologically in a different place than art. Art, it's art. You're opening all of your vessels. You're ready to be entered. Art. And then
Politics. It's all plosive.
trippingly on the tongue. Politics. Art. Right. So
Art.
I can separate the two just because they, in my body, feel differently. Yeah. Art is, I am ready to receive.
Absolutely, honey. How do we perceive the difference between Banksy and Halsey?
Let's try to answer the question or say the question in our answer.
Right. Great.
A lot of people
He's going to keep giving me notes.
Well, we're going to have to cut
Well, we're going to have to cut stuff out.
A lot of people will want to know what is the connection between Banksy and Halsey.
And how do you delineate those two?
Halsey and Banksy are the same to me in that if either of them passed me by on the street, I would know that it was someone carrying a certain amount of status, but I would not know who that was.
Halsey and Banksy are the same to me because if I met either of them at a party, I'd go, that's great to meet you.
Do you think Banksy has been a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race and we just don't know it?
I think if anything, Banksy has been a PA on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Do you think Casey Musgraves is Banksy?
I think that's a solid theory, and
Art is art.
wonder if that's sort of what Slow Burn is about in a way.
We're going to take a moment and look at the first work of art by Banksy that we're going to be talking about and rating how gay it is.
This is the first one. It'll hopefully pop up on the screen as well. And here she is. This is the infamous girl with the balloon.
She's losing her balloon. Something I didn't realize for a long time about this work of art is that the balloon is a heart.
What I'm getting from the balloon sort of floating away from the child is that at a young age, me watching Queer as Folk, right? I'm watching that. I'm being told love's really not in it in the gay community. So at a young age, I sort of let go of the idea of a relationship.
Is that the plot of Queer as Folk?
No, but there's a lot of like, it's just about sex.
What was that? Gay people don't fall in love.
That was sort of small coding I was getting. And then so at a young age, I sort of let go of my own heart balloon, and knowing that in a dress,
You were the girl.
I was the girl. And also,
You're that girl I knew you were.
Who is that?
What?
Who is that? Is that from Mulan?
It's not from Mulan. It's from reality television.
Oh, great.
Is it something New York says? Is this a Tiffany Pollard quote? Who says you're that girl I knew you were?
So I'm also noticing there's a 20 inside of the balloon. I'm not sure if that was added post, sort of like in an internet phase, or if that's actually on the art itself.
Do you think that it was a warning that in the year 2020, we're going to have to let go of our balloon?
Of our heart balloon.
So having a premonition, right? Seeing into the future, Tiresias, right? And is
deeply gay.
Gay.
Deeply
Seeing
gay.
into the future is gay. Look at Raven Simone.
Don't argue with us about this. It's 100% queer culture.
Looking into the future.
Being a medium.
The Long Island medium?
Gay.
Another thing about this image, the wind is blowing. We see the young girl's dress being blown forward.
Her
It
hair's in
feels
her face.
like the opposite of the Coppertone commercial.
There's a world in which a girl's dress does not have to go up. And that's
And a lot of
gay
people don't
world.
know that.
A lot of people don't
The
understand
wind can
that.
blow a girl's dress left, right, forward,
Forward.
backward. It doesn't always have to be
It doesn't
up.
always have to be up.
Wake up, America.
There are a lot of different genders. There are a lot of different sexual preferences, okay?
And for so long, the 90s, the 2000s, before that, up.
There was only one way to go.
Sexuality was a woman having her dress blown all the way up. Not anymore. I would say overall, this is a very gay work of art.
Extremely.
I would give this work of art 3 sort of like shaggy mullets.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And definitely just one single handlebar mustache.
All right, our next Banksy work of art.
Okay, can we zoom in on that? Can we get the pincers? Wow, I hope it's right here or else you're just pointing.
It's gotta be right. If there's nothing here at the end of this video and I'm pointing to nothing,
Okay,
subversion.
we thank
Okay.
you for fingering the iPad in this way.
So
Listen,
we are looking at something disgusting to me.
horrifying. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that this is deeply straight.
When we talk about the end of policing, one of the things that we talk about is giving police officers time to get out of the system that they've been trained to be in and into kissing each other, but kissing each other out of uniform. Get that man out of his uniform and into a pair of khakis.
Into a crop top.
A crop top and a pair of khakis. One boat shoe, one thong flip-flop. Get him in a
Hair
nude
down to
bottom
the
lip,
floor.
a glitter top lip that's overdrawn. It's balance, you know?
And of course, your sort of bull nose piercing as well.
Yes, but
a
it's
must.
flipped up.
Yeah, it's not, you don't see it,
But you know it's
but you
there.
know it's there.
The police are faceless in this image. I think it's important to note
You
that.
get profile.
You get
That's the
one
only
of
gay thing about the image.
is not only the profile of them, but that their faces are gray and anonymous. This
Yeah.
is what we're looking at.
Because really, at the end of the day, how many of those are police officers just looking to rub one out in the back of their cop car
okay.
and get locked in?
If you're a cop out there and you're sitting in your cop car, we know
Oh, you're making one out. Okay.
Okay, and you know why we're not engaging? Me neither.
Me neither. It is a very tender photo. We see that there's like arms behind the back.
There's love
and
there.
There's love. But
These two cops love each other, but they are still working on the police force.
you know what?
What?
I think this is a straight embrace. You know why? Because this is a classic behind the back, arms up. That is a man and a woman. That's straight culture. I'm telling you, when two gay men kiss, they're both just grabbing each other's faces.
Can I ask you something that might make you upset?
What?
Do you think this is two straight men making a joke?
Who? Where? This?
The police officers? Do you think they're two guys doing sort of a no homo style? Is it a joke to them?
If anything, it's like it's June.
It's corporate pride.
They're going, it's PD. It's June.
PD Police Department?
Yeah, Portland Department Police Department.
That would be PPD.
No, Portland Department of the Police Department.
PD.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Palm
so-
Desert Police Department. There
Palm
we
Desert
go.
Police Department. We're coming to the conclusion. This is pretty straight. I would say this is 75% of a holiday baking championship pie.
Yeah, this has like 2 Gordon Ramsays for me. So we're ready for our next Banksy
Yes.
Work.
We're going to see our next Banksy piece of art is...
This is a direct response to the
This
policeman
is a
kissing.
screen grab from Joker. So more than a clown, this specifically, Jester energy. Jester,
Yeah.
you have done it again.
Big, oh, he's back in the court, if you know what I mean. Jester Judy.
Jester Judy.
There's so much. I mean, I adore this image. I will say, this is me. This is me as a child. This is me as a grown adult. This is me, hopefully, as an elder gay man.
What I love about this image is he obviously doesn't want to be doing this. So he's not sort of living large. He's not executing something that he was like, finally, I get to shoot these guns. He obviously doesn't want to have to do it. It's giving me the energy of at the end of a zombie movie when you have to kill a loved one because they've been turned.
Yeah, a family member. Yeah.
This is a clown who both of his clown family members have just started turning into clown zombies. And he's saying, I don't want to have to do this.
He's speaking for the first time in his life. And he's saying,
He's
Hey!
a silent clown.
he's a silent clown.
What is his voice like?
He's a silent killer. Well, for me, this is a classic clown. Now, having gone to clown school, this is a classic clown bit. You get 2 guns accidentally super glued to your hands, and you're going, hey, how do I get these off?
Everyone, no, don't point that at me.
What do I do with
Yeah.
this? Yeah, so
And that's his voice?
yeah, you can tell he's like tongue out. He's like, hey!
If you will see on his, the top point of his little 3-pronged hat, is giving me the energy of, is he, right?
To have a bell, if you could have a bell
On the tip of your
finger,
The power that this has. I want to get an
We have to get
acrylic
it.
nail with a bell on it and just,
That's holiday time.
I mean,
Is he
now come on
dingle
now.
dangle? That's also very bring me my tea as well. That's a vibe, which makes it exponentially gay.
But then, unfortunately, think of all the accidental times you'll be ringing it. Imagine having to,
Would change the channel on the yeah, sort of yank
When you're
out
sort of-
the pot after the boiling
I
water.
won't, but Imagine with a bell on your acrylic.
Ding ling 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 ling. Also, something else that makes this a very queer work of art is he's clearly wearing a leather jacket, and leather is made from
The skin of
house.
Palm Springs residents.
The skin. Leather is in fact made from just ripe elderly gay men who have just baked in the sun down in Palm Springs.
And that's why leather jackets are so important in our culture, is they honor the generation
your
before.
ancestors.
Yeah. Thank you, boys.
Thank you, Banksy.
Thanks, fellas. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Is there a world in which guns are queer?
There is a gun that is queer, and it is Rose McGowan's gun leg in Planet Terror. Something I knew all on my own without having to fact check via our producer Gracie.
I will also argue that Kill Bill is a deeply gay
Talk to me
world.
about the Kill Bill is a gay role.
So Kill Bill is a gay world.
Okay,
And so any guns used within that film, especially by there's the lady with the eye patch that wields a gun at some point. Nope, she just has a sword.
I would
I will say-
urge you to tell me a moment in Kill Bill that you remember a gun being used. I have one in my head.
I know. It's when the snake lady opens the door. No, it's when Uma Thurman opens the door to the RV trailer. And he's got a shotgun. and he blows it.
Another important one. Vivica Fox.
With the cereal,
cereal box.
That's queer.
Vivica Fox with the cereal
Vivica's
box.
box
Gave
with
it
the cereal
to Uma.
box.
She gave her a lot.
A lox.
She gave her a locks.
Bagel.
So let's sort of
yeah.
final statements about the Vivica A. Fox clown.
I would say the Vivica A. Fox clown is near and dear to my heart. I resonate strongly with it. And therefore, I'm unable to separate and be objective. So subjectively, this is a sort of 100% my truth queer work of art from Banksy.
I would give this 1 minute and 3 seconds of the song Heart to Break by Kim Petras.
Okay, so for our next work, here we go. We're hoping it's going to be right here for you.
Please put it here. Please.
Yeah.
There's a single rose on the table which told me that they met, right?
That day.
And that someone was told to meet someone who was going to have a red rose, right?
And sort of a submarine's.
Though they both have a submarine hat. So you know that they didn't say, I'll be the one in the submarine hat. You know the thing that delineated them from everyone else was that they had the rose. Everyone in the cafe presumably is in a submarine hat. I would say this is an underwater cafe. I would go so far as to say that this is almost certainly an underwater cafe. And
so that begs the question, what are they drinking?
Water. My other question, how do you think they get it through their...
I think it's more for show. And that to me is a very queer part of this image. Is clearly they're not going to be drinking this wine. And sometimes when you go out, you just have to have a drink in your hand.
The theater in this photo.
That's a performance.
There is theater happening. They know and we know that they are not really going to be taking a drink of water. But we understand that the water symbolizes that it's in the world, right? They're communicating something to us about the world.
And we know that's a gift. We know that is they're giving and we're receiving. And that's a tango. And a tango is a gay dance.
Tango is Spanish for gay dance. Jensen, can you confirm that I have permission to say that?
As a Latinx queer person, you can say that. You can say that. You can say that. Babe, you can say that.
Thanks, babe.
Of course. Let's see, what else? I will say there's a gay gesture in this photo, which is...
Oh my God, in a car or on a train, looking out the window.
To be holding a glass of what I'm now assigning as wine, and to be like this.
I also want to know...
That Sex and the City sort of built that imagery. What else are we seeing in this? A ponytail. Did we not notice the ponytail coming out of the back of the...
That is drag!
Are you kidding me?
That's something... submarine helmet with a ponytail coming out of the back? Bring it to the underwater table. Underwater table. Underwater table. Bring it to the underwater table.
This is a challenge on the first episode of Drag Race season.
Have a full meal underwater.
That is not in America.
This was the challenge that almost got Alaska eliminated. They said have a full meal underwater.
I feel... Okay, there's also a little purse here. I want to know what's in it. And let's just talk about what we think might be in this little purse.
I would say in the purse we probably have seashells, clams, because she's a girl who pays attention to detail. She doesn't just have the purse and like a lip gloss in it. It's all storytelling. So I would argue that in her purse there's probably an aquatic element. My first thought is seashells.
Just going off of this artist's work and what I know about him so far, I'm going to go ahead and say within that little satchel there are 2 guns.
I'm going to say 3 guns.
I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say that there are...
Between 14 and 15 guns in her purse.
I'm going to go ahead and say that's one big gun.
The purse is a gun. And also her other leg.
Which you can't see, and therefore...
It's Rose McGowan!
Yeah!
So for that reason, it is going to be pretty straight for me. I'm going to rate this probably... a trip to Spencer's Gifts.
I'm gonna give this like a souped up Ford F-150.
I know that we almost only said gay things about this, but
it's straight.
It's straight.
We can still, and that's the great thing about us is that we can see the gay in everything.
Even you, especially you. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Yes.
This is our last piece of work.
All right, I really hope we are going to throw our next Banksy image right up here.
Oh, I'm really hoping it's right there. Right away, we have an all-American pastime. We have baseball.
The energy is Gal Gadot's Imagine.
That is Kristen Wiig sincerely looking into her camera lens singing.
When I tell you
Imagine.
the moment that Wonder Woman 84 was released on HBO Max and I realized that was why Kristen Wiig was the second person in the Imagine video, it's just the canonity of that.
This is giving me like Dodgers game. Somebody whose job it is to throw t-shirts into a crowd, but instead we're throwing flowers.
Oh, yeah, this man is not involved in a protest. He works at Dodgers Stadium.
And it is during the time of Coronova.
He usually throws t-shirts, but obviously there's no one in the stadium. He's just practicing. And he went through a breakup.
Yeah.
So obviously the symbolism is not lost on me. There is something so hot to me about when you go to throw something, pointing to where you're about to throw it. This sort of move is like...
That's a straight thing for sure, because that's technique. That's sports technique.
It's a sickness in me that I think it's hot, because it is very straight. This is an illness that I have. Also, someone corner pocket, wet, flooded.
Just to hear that in a bar.
If I hear a man say corner pocket, it's over.
I will say that there is. So let's imagine a world. So this, right to point, it could easily have been this.
Is he doing a restaurant point, or is
He is doing yes, the bathrooms are right that way.
This is a host at a restaurant, and he's seating a party where the man gave his date flowers, and they're like, we don't want to bring them to the table. The tables are very small here. And so he's like, of course, we'll keep them. Your table is right this way.
There is a bridesmaid fighting for the bouquet from this server, and he's saying, you're going to have to actually go right back to your table.
Ma'am.
It is Cornova.
Ma'am.
You need to.
We are afraid.
I caught this bouquet. Go get back. Your table's right over there.
For all of these reasons, I feel that this...
Can I just, right before we get into
please.
rating, I also want to throw out that there is a world in which this is a gay man who plays sports, and it is his wedding day. And he's doing a very traditionally straight thing, which is throwing a bouquet of flowers into a sea of screaming bridesmaids, or whatever their gender may be. And that this is actually a queer wedding. And he's just a butcher man, and he's throwing his flowers that he just got and received from his husband.
All these things considered, him behaving this way at a queer wedding, for me, it is going to be a 75% full Gatorade bottle.
And you know what? I just noticed the backwards hat.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to give this an Ashton. Is that his name? Ashton Kutcher?
You said Astrid the first time.
I sure did.
Astrid Kutcher.
I am going to have to give this piece of work an Ashton.
Astrid Kush.
I'm gonna have to give this piece of work
an Astrid Kushner.
I'm gonna have to give this piece of work an Ashton Kutcher trying to reboot Punk'd again.
You know they rebooted Punk'd.
I know. So
but without Ashton Kutcher.
I thought he was in it. I thought he was a part of it.
Sound off in the comments.
Was he a producer? Was he on it?
Ashton? Where's Ashton?
All right. Well, that was us reviewing and rating Banksy's work based off of how gay they are.
Thank you guys so much for highly requesting this video. We've been getting asked and asked and asked about it. Everyone wants to know, Banksy, how gay is he? Well, Banksy's so gay that we have to end the video
now. Thank you guys
so much. We're Very Gay Paint. I'm Nick Shepard.
I'm Jensen Titus.
And thanks. Have a good night.
We're rocking out. Your table's right over there.
Wait, your table's right over there.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Did you serve it to your camera or the main camera?
No, should I do my camera?
Yeah. Or wait, let's do the main camera.
Okay.
Your table's right over there. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Thanks so much.
Well done. Well done.
Well done, fellers.